Hi friends, Ansu here from Ivytree Studio. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a couple of ideas how you can make your own stencils for your Lent journaling season. And we are busy working through the Tefillah devotional series, and you can still sign up at any time if you want to. It's still available. You'll start the daily devotional emails and receive that once you've signed up. So just be mindful that it's kind of well after the fact. We've already done about 13 days of our Lent study. But I've given the girls some ideas on how to do this. There's a full kind of stamp and stencil template in the shop available under the Tefillah collection. And I try to give a variety of things, so it's not just faith-based. So there are other kind of little ephemera pieces that can work well for either stamps or stencils, and you can use them interchangeably depending on your need. And it's very simple. All you need is some acetate or some clear packaging material that you've saved, and you can cut a stencil from that. And I'm going to give you some tips in this video. And then also, if you want to make the stamps, you can just use some offcuts of chipboard, and you need some fun foam, and the adhesive kind, the one with an adhesive backing, is the best one because it's just so simple. You're going to trace your image, you're going to cut it out, and you're going to adhere it to your chipboard backing. So let's get into our stencils. So you see me making stencils, and hey, I'm using scissors and not a craft knife, because those craft knives can be really slippery and scary when you are cutting by hand on slippery acetate. So I want to give you an option that is not too dangerous to try out. So I basically use my little sharp tool there, my cutting knife, to just start the cut, and then I go in with my sharp nose scissors, and then I cut the whole stencil out by hand using my scissors, like you would fussy cut any other paper element from any of the kits that you buy from me. So very easy. Just trace it with a permanent marker. Make sure the marker is for transparency use, so that you don't kind of wipe away the image while you messing with the cutting. So just very simply, a permanent marker would just do the trick. Right, so very easy process actually. Who needs a cutting machine? Now if you do have the cutting machine, you can even use these templates, bring them into your design space or your design program for Silhouette or Cricut, and cut them out with your digital cutter. It's as simple as that. So just remember, with the fun foam, you'll probably need a deep cut blade to be able to cut the foam, so if you want to do the stamps, but it can be done. I've been making stencils and stamps, and I'm really a firm believer in simplicity. And by the time I've set up my Silhouette and I have kind of did the whole technical thing to bring in the images and trace them and get them ready for cutting, I could have done 3, 4, 5 stamps or stencils by that time. So I just dig in, and I like the handmade version of things. I don't need it to be perfect for any kind of art journaling. It's not going to hang in some fancy gallery somewhere. For me, it's just a fun process. And so I want to encourage you, if you can do it by hand, try a couple of these designs. You can stick to the simple ones. For most of the stencils, I can really recommend that you cut them like I'm doing here, where you have like a mask as well as a stencil, and I use both of those, so it gives you two pieces to work with, which is great, and you can use them for different purposes. And so what I also like to do, and you'll see me later in the video do that, is use my store-bought stencils with intricate patterns and designs inside of these stencils, and then you get really interesting end results. So use what you have in your stash, but I really feel like making these stencils by hand and then saving them, making sure that you can use them again and again, is such a good way of utilizing your creativity. It's cost effective. If you think about store-bought stencils, you'll pay in South Africa, you'll pay around 120, 150 rand, sometimes more, for just one stencil, um, especially for the ones that are imported. And so, what I want to share with you, like, my hands are not as stable as they used to be when it comes to tracing images, but I know that I can get like a really smooth cut with my scissors. So the idea of the lines on the acetate is just to have a place where you can place down your scissors, and then you can make sure that your cut is a little smoother than your tracing perhaps was. So don't be too harsh on yourself, and you can always wipe away that marker in the end with some Q-Tex remover, um, something simple like acetone. I nearly said acetate again, but acetone. You will be able to remove the permanent marker. So if you want to do that, I don't even bother with that, because you're just going to use paint and mediums again and again through that stencil, and you're not going to be too precious with it because it's inexpensive. And if it tears or it breaks, then you can just draw another one and cut out another stencil. So I really feel like handmade stamps and stencils have such a wide variety of use. They're just as good as the store-bought. You can do intricate little details like I'm doing here with my little rainbow. There's you can see the top one has little dots in it, and I have the sponge that has that exact size, so I use that to bring in those dots. I could never have cut that by hand, so having a little mini hole punch made my job really easy, and I was able to do it without much effort. Now I've got a couple of those templates to go, but what I'm doing is I'm not putting a lot of pressure on myself to make all the stencils in the template bundle all at once. I make a couple each week, and then I use those in that week's journaling for the Lent experience. And because I have different kinds that I can use them again in future. Like this silhouette, I can use again in my art journaling. I was just scribbling in the inside of that, tracing or lining it, and I had a very interesting face, and I didn't even use the whole stencil, just a part of the face. And so there's so many ways that you can use it. This stencil, I had just like little offcuts of paper on my desk, basically the size of a tag, and I was just using it to test out the stencils. Oh, what fun! I just enjoyed it, and I just kept on playing and thought about different ways that I can use the stencils and the masks. So if you've got the mask, you can get an outline. If you've got the stencil, you get the inside image, and you can use your pens to trace it and bring in details. You can add little flowers and dots and things to the inside of that image, and it just brings it alive on the page. And very simple little cards. And if you do, like, I just chose 2 colors of Distress Oxide. You can even stick with one and then play with that one color and see how you can use the different stamps and stencils, in this case stencils, in different ways, using the inside and the outside of your stencil, your mask and the stencil image. And here you see me adding other stencils to it to bring in more details. So I had a lot of fun just playing with this and creating little images that I can use in my tag book for Lent or in my journal to fill up pages. Played with the hearts a lot and really got into the creative groove, trying different things with my stencils. You can stamp onto those images as well. This one was lots of fun. So I used the blue on the inside, got that image, still could see the crosses. You can line them if you want to. Um, Again, worked with that blue and covered it, and then got the inside because I just wanted to highlight those crosses. And I also used a little gold pen to outline the center one, added the hearts, and this was a page that was ready for being added to my journal. So just a quick this is love. This is what love looks like. So just highlighting that center cross and adding some gold to make that little expression of creativity pop. And so a lot of ephemera pieces to be used in my journal.